I'm Carson.
I'm Jordan.
Welcome to Take Two, and today we're going to be discussing the latest Western thriller, Hell or High Water.
Not a lot of people have heard of this because no one's marketing it. I don't remember what studio it was, but it's not getting any, recognition at all. It did get a wide release, which is very surprising to me, but it's a shame that not a lot of people are going to see this because I think this is one of the best movies of the year so far, and that relies on a couple things. Perhaps most notably, the performances.
They're fantastic in this movie. Everyone feels super candid, you know? Right. It feels like a Texas town, and this is how people would talk to each other. And a lot of the comedy in this movie comes from very natural, fun, quippy moments, but they don't feel over the top. They don't feel overly written. Just very, very well done.
Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. And of the three, I am most impressed with Ben Foster because up until this movie, he's just been in stuff, and I've never really been like, wow, Ben Foster was great in that. Wow, Ben Foster was good in this. He played an ass very well.
Yeah, but he was lovable, too. He was
Sort
a
of,
lovable
yeah.
ass, and I think that had to do with the dynamic between him and Chris Pine, which had wonderful chemistry in this movie. Mm-hmm. And the more I've seen of Chris Pine, particularly this year, the more I really, really like him.
I really haven't seen much of Chris Pine outside of the Star Trek movies. This is a big departure from those. I mean,
definitely.
This is very, down to earth, very quiet, very reserved. And he's never, from what I've seen anyway, he's never really done that. I know he's in a couple other things like Finest Hours, but I haven't seen that. This was a departure from that, and he played it pretty damn well, actually. So.
Yeah, and he really didn't have too many lines in the movie either. He was sort of quiet.
Very quiet, which is, fine. He pulled it off pretty damn well. Next we have, I guess we can just touch on Rooster Cogburn, as Jeff Bridges slowly descends into playing that character in every movie he ever does anymore.
I don't know, man. Something about it is just, it fits him so well, and his voice and his face.
No, it fits him, but the past how many Jeff Bridges movies since True Grit have been him playing Rooster Cogburn?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know. It kind of sucks that he's been typecast that way, but I don't know. He plays the character well. Yeah. So. And he was great in this movie, too.
Yeah, there's not enough Jeff Bridges movies in the world, and here's another one, but, he plays the same thing, but again, he always plays it well, so I won't complain too much. This felt like a Coen Brothers movie without being a Coen Brothers movie. Really clever, quirky, sort of bits of dialogue, impossible situations that become possible, and the dialogue especially. It felt like a Coen Brothers movie, specifically, I guess True Grit, because Rooster Cogburn's in the movie, but also it felt really close to No Country for Old Men.
It did. I think if you would have edited this movie a little quicker, with a little more comedic timing, you could have showed this to me as a Coen Brothers film, and I probably would have believed you.
Yeah, and that's not a disservice to the film.
Not at all.
It feels like a Coen Brothers movie, but you can tell it's not. It just has that. It's got that feel, I guess, is the best way to put it. And that's not a bad thing, because if you're being compared to Coen Brothers, there's a lot more directors you could be compared to that are much worse.
It's the best Coen Brothers film this year, because, I didn't particularly care for Hail Caesar, and this felt more like one of their works than that did.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's very similar in that respect, but I'll give points to the movie because
definitely
I always enjoy watching stuff like that. You had a problem with some pacing issues.
Yeah, I think the movie chugs along a little bit in some places. It just feels a little slow, and I think that comes from some of the scenes that have no dialogue with a little bit of music behind it, and they're nice, touching character moments, and you can see some actual characterization going on without dialogue. But some of these scenes felt like they go on for a little bit longer than they should have. And I know you had an issue with the ending as well.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the pacing per se like you did throughout the movie. I thought that was fine. Because it lended itself to the characters and all that kind of stuff. I had a problem with maybe the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Sure.
Because it feels like it's got that Return of the King thing where it has like 5 endings and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, here'd be a place to cut the credits. And it never happens.
It wrapped up things that didn't really need to be wrapped up. You know what I mean?
It felt like it didn't want to leave any loose ends, which I think the movie could have benefited from.
I think so too.
It felt really neatly wrapped, which, I mean, that works for some movies, but here, with the grittiness and the situations of bank robbery and, all this other stuff going on, it'd be nice for there to be a loose end. It'd be more like a Coen Brothers movie. Every Coen Brothers movie ends like that. Do it again. I don't know, but it's slow. It's a slow burn for sure. I didn't have a problem with that. I just felt like, that ending felt way too long, way too conclusory.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I probably would have cut the last 10 minutes and just ended the movie.
I also think the cinematography in this movie was really
Pretty,
well done.
really,
It was for
yeah.
Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico, that sort of area, which is kind of barren and sunny and dry and kind of drab in its color.
Right.
Very, very pretty. And
Right.
there was a particular shot of the two brothers sitting by their truck at this one particular moment, and it was just an absolutely beautiful shot.
Right.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, it captures the, I guess, blandness of that landscape pretty well, which is hard to do. I think a movie like, you ever seen Nebraska?
No, I haven't.
It does it with even more barren and bland landscapes, and I don't know, there's something about that lends itself to movies, and really flat, long plains is just, that's an interesting visual thing, and the movie does it a lot, and it does it well. So, it's a really solid movie. Nothing really wrong with it. It's actually pretty, good. It might end up in my top 10 for the year at this point. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
I think I would give it probably a solid 8.
Yeah.
Just because I liked this movie a lot, but I feel like more towards the end of the year, I might forget about it a little more than some of the other movies that are in my top 10.
It's an early awards contender type movie. It's August is not over yet.
Yeah.
That's really early. We just came off the movie, the summer movie season. This is, it's nice to see a good movie all the time, but I don't know. I don't know if this will have the weight to carry itself to the end of the year when we have nothing but awards movies coming out.
Right.
Hopefully it does. It's not worth overlooking, I think.
Yeah, definitely not.
But, we haven't seen any of the other Oscar-ish movies this year, so it could just be washed out. I don't know, but either way, it's worth watching. Who gives a shit about the Oscars? It doesn't matter. Watch the movie. It's good. All right. If you liked this review, like, comment, subscribe. Do it if you want. We'll see you next time.
Bye.